So what Subway was able to provide to Walmart was something that's called the health halo. Now, listen, I've been to heaven a bunch of times. I've known so many fucking angels in my life.
You saw Jesus.
I saw Jesus Christ. It was crazy.
Wait, what's the kid's name again?
Colton Burpo. Yeah, me and
We're
Colton
doing
Burpo.
that episode.
Dude, I have a whole plan for us to do, like, not just Colton Burpo, but
I know, we got to do all the
lie
died.
books. We got to do the lie books.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple angles that we could take, but I think lie books,
I don't know what that is.
books that are lies.
Oh.
Like books that someone made up.
Oh,
A Child
yeah.
Called It, stuff like that.
There's so many.
We talked. We'll discuss more after this.
Totally. The Bible.
But the health halo effect New Testament, but the Old Testament's real. The health halo effect that Subway was able to put over Walmart was the same health halo that Subway had over its little green and yellow head. Now, you might ask, Brace, what is a health halo? That's basically where it's not a very complicated concept, where your food is essentially seen as healthy, right? So because of Subway's advertising campaigns, right, and so much of it was about 6 grams of fat, like low-fat foods. And then, of course, once they rolled Jared's funky ass out, look, this guy lost all this weight eating our product, which is, by the way, a pretty radically different strategy than most fast food corporations had to advertise their product, right? So not only do you have that pretty immediate divergence in advertising tactics with Subway and these other companies, you had a healthy advertising campaign. So I read a few studies to this effect, and there's quite a lot of literature out there about the health halo effect, but particularly in relation to Subway. And in one study that I think sums up the way a lot of these are run and the results of a lot of the other ones are, for instance, they took people who are regular diners at Subway, right? And they put 2,000 calories worth of McDonald's in front of them and 2,000 calories worth of Subway in front of them. Same amount of calories, 2 unhealthy meals, equally unhealthy. I mean, there's more to it than that. But there was other metrics by which they were basically similar meals, right?
Right.
And those Subway diners would basically always be like that's considerably they would estimate about the Subway meals were about 23% healthier than the McDonald's meals, even though it was essentially the same amount bad for you.
Interesting.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So there's also a sort of upselling tactic to this too, because something that if a restaurant has a sort of health halo around it, people will go there and they'll order something believing it's healthy, right? And if people believe that the main course they're ordering is healthy, they'll get an unhealthy dessert or an unhealthy soda to treat themselves for being good. This is a really common thing that people do.
Yeah, I think I'd probably do that.
Exactly, yeah. The problem is Subway sandwiches are not healthy. And so it actually ends up with people eating even unhealthier than they would. Maybe they go to McDonald's, they get a cheeseburger, but they get a Diet Coke, right? Because they're like, I know this fucking cheeseburger is bad for me. But at Subway, they think that 12-inch meatball sub is good for them because it's from Subway. So they'll get a big-ass fucking motherfucking Mountain Dew Code Red and a bag of those crazy funky chips and one of those, I gotta say, delicious cookies.
I mean, Subway fucking cruised on this shit.
Yeah.
Their first national campaign with Jared, like we said, was in 2000. It was January 1st, 2000, which that also, unlicensed private objective, I'm going to say, I think it's because of Y2K. It fried everyone's brains.
Y2K was real. You hear, this is the thing. Everyone talks about Y2K hoax, Y2K hoax, Y2K hoax. There was a hoax. The hoax is that it didn't happen.
Right. It did happen.
Y2K was real.
It happened, and everyone got fucking Jared Subway fever.
Exactly. Do you remember what happened in the past 23 years? It was insane. Of course Y2K happened, dude. So we're going to play the first motherfucking ad for you right now.
Here is Jared Fogle. You may have seen him on the news or a talk show. He was inspired by Subway's great-tasting sandwiches. Jared believes in an active lifestyle, including lots of walking. At the heart of Jared's routine are Subway sandwiches.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, guys.
This ad is immediately a huge success. And Subway sees dollar signs when they're looking at Jared's jiggling ass walking down the street in that advertisement. So he starts touring the country, sharing his story.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what that means. I'm assuming he's going to malls and
middle schools,
local churches. Yes.
Kind of the whole like everywhere brace is banned from.
Yeah.
Like
Middle
spectrum.
schools, elementary schools, all schools really.
I'm
and
banned
he's
from
there
them for trying to teach the kids.
Yeah, he's there just talking about Subway sandwiches. America has Jared fever, and their only cure is bigger pants. And I cannot find exactly when. I really tried to find this out when the pants were debuted because it wasn't in the first commercial. But soon the big pants are everywhere.
And I will say something about those pants too. Is there are quite a few. So we've talked before on the show about Jesus Christ's foreskin, right?
What?
About the foreskin of Jesus Christ,
Have
the
we?
Son of God. Yeah. We did with Matt and Chris from Chapo Trap House.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So much like how there were several copies of Christ's foreskin.
Oh, I see.
Kind of like a test pressing
Yeah.
being paraded about Europe in the years that people were trying to see stuff like that, which I still would, but they don't have it anymore. Jared's pants, there were like multiple copies of Jared's pants. And I'm not saying that Jared just had one pair of jeans, right? I'm sure the guy had a lot of pants.
Wait, there wasn't just one pair of pants?
It wasn't just one pair of pants.
I thought it was kind of like Brotherhood of Traveling Pants.
No, well, it was a large brotherhood of traveling pants because there was a lot of those pairs of pants scattered around the country. And I've heard from various listeners about pants in their towns, pants that were purchased even by their city governments, that it took a couple of years after Jared's arrest to actually take down from their pride of place.
Fake pants.
Well, I don't know if they're fake pants. They're real pants, and at some point they might have belonged to Jared. I think the question of authenticity lays in, did he wear those pants when he was a big fat guy? Because if he just purchased those pants after the fact,
Yeah.
they're still technically
Post-fatto.
Jared's pants,
Yeah.
but they're not pants that he could wear with any degree of realistic looking filling out.
Well, the pants catch on.
Mm-hmm.
People are obsessed. They start going into Subway and they're like, whatever Jared's having, I want that.
That's crazy.
It's so great. We are crazy. We are a fucking crazy country.
This nation should be annihilated.
Yes, and ashamed. Subway is getting like 200 to 250 letters a month from people saying that they lost weight on the Subway diet, just like Jared, which, I want to say, like, that's great. I think that's great.
I think that's wonderful. Yeah,
I do.
here's
It's
the
hard
thing,
for me.
like,
I don't want to
yeah.
say, it's like, I don't want to talk too much shit. Like, here's the thing. The guy's a pedophile, so I can talk a little bit of shit.
Yeah, he does. He is a pedophile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
But I do want to say that losing weight is really hard. It's really fucking hard for a lot of people in this country for a whole host of reasons. And like you said about, especially places where it's not even walkable and it's hard to, find new activities or whatever. And so for even like 250 people to be saying that they're losing weight through this weird 2 sandwich a day diet thing is, no pun intended, massive.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
And I support anyone who's like doing anything like that, though I don't think you should do it with Subway, but whatever works.
So sales skyrocketed for Subway, like we said. So they went from $3.6 billion in 1999 to $5.77 billion, the punk number, in 2002, in large part due to Jared's funky face out there in the motherfucking ads. So he is immediately on Oprah, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of the most beautiful women ever made. He's on the Today Show.
Herself a yo-yo dieter.
Yeah, what's up with that? Because
Famously.
isn't she like a diet? I don't really know that much about Oprah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you know that we had
Lesbian?
to watch Oprah in school?
She's a lesbian?
We had this really weird theology teacher who I think was drunk. And she would just make us, like my freshman year in high school.
Theology?
Yeah, because I went to Catholic school.
Yeah, I know, but
And
Oprah.
I think she was drunk, and she would just roll in the old TV on the stand. Everyone
Yeah,
loves that.
yeah.
And we would just watch episodes of Oprah all day in class,
That's so
which
sick.
about like relationships and rape and stuff.
Most of our shit was Sallow. They just played Sallow
That's
every
terrible.
couple of days for us.
Anyway, Jared, we probably watched the Jared episode. He's on Oprah, Today Show, my favorite show.
South Park, which declares that, well, frankly, I'll just play it now.
Well, eating sub sandwiches was a big part of it. But the way that I lost so much weight was that I got AIDS.
Super Bowl ads. And in fact, I will say this, he was in the most remembered Super Bowl ad too. So it wasn't just a Super Bowl ad, it was a fucking hit Super Bowl ad. And they actually had his freaky little greasy fingers carry the Olympic torch to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. America's like, this is our guy. Jared is our guy.
Jared's our guy.
That and then you got celebrities are like clamoring to be in ads with Jared. You got Michael Phelps, Michael Strahan, Tony Parker, John Cena, all of the early 2000 hits. By the way, man, that's a schmoo.
I know
right
who
there.
Michael Phelps is because he's the mutant who smoked marijuana. Like he's got fins or whatever. Who's Michael Strahan?
Now he's on. It's not the Today Show, but is he on Kathy?
He's one of those kind of guys.
What's the fucking? I'm so old. I want to say Regis and Kathy Lee, and neither of those people are on that show, but it's that show.
Yeah, okay, but he's like a daytime guy.
Yeah, but he was a football player before.
Tony Parker.
Well, basketball player.
And John Cena, of course, the wrestler.
Sure.
And Jared, I believe, appeared in WWF at one point as well. I've seen the footage of it, but it's a little too dark for me to recount here. Subway actually was like, listen, we got this one Jared. What if we put out a couple of other Jareds? There's a good article by Kate Bricolette. Remember her from the trial?
I do.
Who I guess is on the pedophile beat at the Daily Beast, but she talks about other Jareds, including a firefighter Jared with a way better jingle than Jared ever had. Clay Henry.
His name is Henry, Clay Henry. He's a fireman and a Jared fan from Subway.
And they also debuted a couple of black Jareds who not only were black, but identical twins.
Herman and Sherman Smith lost 100 pounds each with the help of Subway low-fat sandwiches and exercise.
For 7 months, we ate nothing but Subway.
And cousins of somebody? I wrote cousins in the notes, but
Wait,
they can't be identical twins
cousin.
cousins. Well, I think the concept here, and this is a concept that'll actually come up a lot during this, I think the concept is twin flames. You know what I mean? So it's like these two lights sort of found each other in the darkness of space, and they're cousins.
By the way, the other day, Brace texted me something. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is like a twin flame thing," and he
It's
started.
about Jared!
You started going on about something else, and I was like, "I need to stop you right there. When did you just found out about
Like
this
3
concept?
weeks ago. I thought it just meant
and
soulmates.
how and what? It's a little different.
I heard someone
But
say it
it's
in like a
an
sarcastic
extremely
way.
like Tumblr ass.
Really?
Oh yeah, concept.
But doesn't it just mean soulmates?
I think people would say it's a little different.
It's like gayer than that?
Yeah, you can have a twin flame that's not a soul, because it can be like a twin flame that's also like very
Your enemy?
not your enemy, but yeah, like a Harry Potter what's his face situation.
Azkaban.
No,
You're right.
Voldemort.
Voldemort. Yes. I don't know. What's Azkaban?
I don't know, but you threw it out
The
there.
Prisoner of that's one of the names of the books. I don't know. I only got to the second one.
Here's the thing. By 2003, Subway's like, I'm getting kind of sick of Jared, and I don't blame him. He's a pedophile.
Yeah.
But
Well, they didn't know that yet, but
well, maybe.
a couple years later, yeah.
Subway's like, let's look at some other things. I think Subway's getting a little big for its britches. It's
Yeah.
like, we could pivot off Jared. We're fine. We don't need Jared.
We
It's
don't
like,
need Jared.
No, you need the fucking pedo pants.
You fucking. Here's the thing. You got to understand is you might think of Jared Fogle as just some motherfucking big pants pedophile freak, and you'd be right. He is a wretched piece of shit. But Subway needed him, and Subway soon found that out.
Yeah, I mean, I think they basically, things were looking a lot easier for them when they were like, oh, we can just say we're not McDonald's. Oh, we're not Burger King. Oh, we're not Taco Bell. Easy peasy, right? But by 2003, 2004, all these other chains are popping up that people are like, everyone's like, ooh, what's this Panera bread? Ooh, what's Cozy? Like, this
What's
feels
Cozy?
like a real bistro style fast casual place. I'm gonna go here. And Subway's like, shit, we gotta like pivot. We're gonna market some other way. So they try to get out of the Jared business. But it didn't work very well.
Subway also has been, subject to some bad press. Yeah, famously, people didn't know whether their tuna was real. Some people with working olfactory senses are disgusted by the scent of Subway, which comes from the combination of the bread being baked and the cookies being baked, by the way. There's unfortunately no grosser secret. From massaging the mayonnaise into the tuna. And they've been beset by controversy after controversy, and the one thing that has stood with them, like a rock in the storm, has been Jared Fogle. And I want to say something about Jared's tenure and long tenure as a spokesman. And I think we maybe mentioned this in the first episode. I'm sure that if I scoured the history books, there's other examples of somebody who was this much of a human mascot, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, companies have had spokesmen before. We mentioned Grimace, right? You know, he was a real guy. A lot of people don't know that. The Burger King, you know, actually...
They debuted him. Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah,
Burger King.
actually a cousin of the Kaiser. Pretty close to him. But Jared Fogle is one of the few examples that you can actually get who is not only not a fictional character, but a real guy who was not like created. I mean, he was created by Subway in many ways, but who came to Subway kind of already formed a little bit in what he was, right? And, you know, one of the main things I think about Jared is that he's boring, you know? Like, Jared is just like, he's a guy who's like the most plain-looking Midwest kind of like corn-fed, well, I guess Taco Bell-fed individuals that you could possibly conjure out, you know? He's got these little glasses, he's kind of got this short hair, you know, one of those like nondescript just shirts, you know, some pants. And he talks in this way that is like neither, he's not funny, he's just sort of like there, right?
Yeah.
He's just a human mascot, a human figurehead. And I gotta say, like, he is an extraordinarily, except for his rapacious sexual crimes and his horrible, horrible dark secrets that he had, in all other respects, one of the most boring individuals that you could possibly, you know, magic up from the ether.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing too, is that like Jared, the only thing that Jared has ever done in his life up until this point, or really, I guess always, because now he's sitting in fucking jail, is lose weight eating Subway sandwiches.
That's it.
So like when Subway tries to pivot away from him, there's like he's not qualified to do anything else.
Yeah.
He's just in the business now, and that business is being Jared Fogle, and he's literally had he hasn't had another job. He's Subway Jared. He is Subway Jared.
He is Subway Jared.
And so facing a diminished role as the official face of Subway, naturally he turns to the world of philanthropy.
He starts the Jared Fogle Foundation, a proud sponsor of this show and other NPR affiliates.
Yeah, that's in 2004, and it's ostensibly focusing on education and childhood obesity, although we'll get into this foundation a little bit more in the next episode.
You know, he gets married, he gets divorced. He's sort of living this dream, but it's a really strange kind of dream, right? It's not the sort of life I think that I or anyone I know would ever really want to live. And 5 years into the foundation, so around 2009, he hires a man named Russell Taylor to run the foundation.
Here's the thing, though. Russell Taylor is a pedophile. And so is Jared Fogle.
Hey, bozo! You heard that motherfucking gong, that means the trailer is over. But check this out. We got a funky little, I say funky about 10,000 times in this episode, by the way, I'm sorry. We have a funky little thing that's new on our goddamn little Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/TrueAnonPod and you can sign up for a 1-week free trial of this freaking podcast show. And you can listen to our entire back catalog and this current locked Patreon episode. I love you.
Please give us your name. Jared Fogle. Could you please give us your name? Jared Fogle. Could you please give us your name? Jared Fogle. Could you please give us your name? Jared Fogle. The name. Jared Fogle.